Yo, what's going on guys? This Anime One back here with another video, and today I'm here with another part of What If Naruto was neglected and at Isshiki's karma. So if you guys like the content in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also like this video. So let's begin the video. So opened his eyes, he looked and what was going on. He pulled himself together and got ready. When he got downstairs, however, no one was around. You gotta be kidding me. This little fox left me behind here to sleep. Ah, thanks guys. He smiled at the thought, cause he was sure that Shisui let him sleep since he was the one who had given Naruto the training yesterday. He stared at the thought of his crazy sensei. He summarized that they all went to the bridge to protect Asuna. He was glad that he went, but he was a little offended. I mean, they left me but brought Sakura, of all people. Am I trash? He thought sadly, which was of course not true. Naruto began to hear a shout coming from the front of the house. Naruto zoomed in front to see a Neri in front of these bandits who had Tsunami captured in ropes. Well, should we kill the kid? I'm kinda looking at his mother's beautiful body. You'd think a boss would mind if he had a go at her for a bit, one of them asked. Well, of course not, as long as he's unharmed. I can't wait myself, so come on kid, show us what you got. Inari glared hard at the thugs, who, even in his young mind, had an idea of what they were gonna do to his mother. Inari, don't do it! Tsunami yelled before the thug knocked her out. Neri charged at them with tears in his eyes. Give her back, he yelled. Just one of the thugs was about to cut him down. He heard something. Trash. And then several rods were pierced right through his skull, and both of the thugs dropped down, dead. Naruto, who had his dojutsu activated, he had somehow managed to unlock the Sakuna Hikona dojutsu, or the Dharma Wheel Eye, that allowed him to shrink things without actually activating the karma. When he asked Isshiki about it, Isshiki told him since he had 78% of his DNA, he was able to do that, which made sense. Neri, what kind of crazy thing did you just did right now? You could have gotten yourself killed, Naruto said. I know, but I couldn't stand there and just watch as my mother was taken. I had to do something. Naruto smirked. I know, which is why, as a shinobi to civilian, I'm disappointed in your behavior. But as a brother to brother, a person to hardships to another person of hardship, I'm proud of you, finally taking a step. And Neri smiled as he watched Naruto leap off into the forest, heading to the bridge. Meanwhile, at the bridge, the Genin team with their sensei stood there as before them was Zabuza and his apprentice, Mugetsu and Shigetsu. Kushina spoke. Looks like you're all better now. Last time I checked, you were dead. She said in a sarcastic way. Well, you shouldn't underestimate the power of Haku. The boy is really talented. He has a rare ability that I have not seen before. Bloodline. Mugetsu said. As Sasuke's got, well, it can be greater than the Sharingan, I bet. Yeah, Sasuke-kun's bloodline rolls. Sakura backed him up. Sirit glared at him. You talk big game, yet you still haven't unlocked it, she said, embarrassing him in front of the enemy. Sasuke had enough as he charged at Haku, ready to test his newfound power. Haku was the Genin appeared before him with low speeds before blocking a kunai with a senbon. The three Jonin growled at Sasuke's impulsive action because Zabuza approached Sasuke and Haku. As Mikoto charged at Zabuza, attempting to stop him from killing her son, she blocked the kick with her back, launching her in the water. Mikoto! Kushina yelled as he charged in after her friend, while Sisui got a little after he turned to the Genins. Alright, brats, listen, and listen good. Shit just hit the fan, so I'm gonna back up, well, others. I cannot take on these two alone, even for someone like me, unless I use the other stage of the shotting guns, but it is what it is. You will do and protect the bitch builder. Sorry, Yorichi and Menma. Your job is to back up Sasuke's dumbass, and Sai and Mito. And Sakura, protect the Tazuna. Zabuza might send some of his clones that might zip us, so just watch yourself. Go! Sisui shouted before grabbing his Tonto and charging at Zabuza. Well, let's continue our match. Last time you won, teleporter, Zabuza said, as he rushed at Sisui. Kushina and Mikoto were currently battling Mangetsu. Well, he was getting overwhelmed, even with his twin lightning blades. Yeah, he couldn't match Mikoto's speed and Kushina's agility with her blade and, her chakra chains and ceiling jutsu and etc. He was getting overwhelmed. He needed to end this quickly. As he was thinking that, he had blocked a swipe from Mikoto, who had a Tonto in her hand with black lightning surrounding it, as he kicked him away. And soon as he did that, Kushina appeared behind him and grabbed him by her chains. Mugetsu tried to get out, but, he couldn't. Shit, he said as he glared at them. You'll not get away with this, he said again. But Kushina smirked. Well, not if you're dead. They both said at the same time. Mugetsu started sweating. This couldn't be his end. No. Suigetsu sensed something as his master was captured, but he was currently busy in battling Mito and Sai, who were holding him off pretty good and not letting him get to Mugetsu. This was trouble. So Mugetsu wanted to get to his master. He could sense that his master's chakra was getting low. He needed to end this. He went through hand signs. Water style. Water wall jutsu, he said as he spewed out a huge amount of water from his mouth. And it rushed towards both of the Genins. Mito took out her chakra chains as he used it to block the water wall that was coming towards them. And unfortunately, it did. It blocked all of it. But when she retracted her chains, Shigetsu was, gone. Kushina was about to bring her blade down to finish Mugetsu off, but soon as he was to do that, a black rod pierced right through her stomach as she staggered back and looked at the rod. What the hell? She thought, but then again, Mikoto, who saw this chance, was about to finish Mugetsu off, but again, two black rods pierced right through her arms as her arm were completely useless now. Again, two black rods pierced through Kushina's arms as well, as Naruto, in his shrunken down form, pointed his hand towards Kushina's neck. This should do it. He fired off a very small rod that would put her in a knocked out state as the rod pierced through Kushina's neck. It was a small rod just meant to knock her out as Kushina was knocked out, and he did the same with Mikoto. Look at me coming here to save your ass, Mugetsu. How pathetic, Naruto said as he got up. He came to his original size as Mugetsu looked at him. You are the boy that Zabuza told us about. The deal to the snow country. So, you really did come, huh? Attacking your own comrades. You really are an interesting one, boy, he said. Naruto looked at Mugetsu with a disinterested look. Just get it done with. What I want and what you want are in interest, so that's that. And your, apprentice is coming towards your way. I suggest you take him and get lost. Well, that would be the correct option. I'll tell the others, Mikoto and Kushina specifically, that, you were killed by them, and Suigetsu took your body away and ran. That should be a perfect explanation since, you were almost about to get killed. But what are you gonna tell about the black rods piercing right through them? That's some serious damage, you know. Migetsu said, pointing at them as Naruto smirked. That's also something that you don't have to worry about. We can just say that an unknown figure came and did that. I'll be pretending to be that unknown figure for the time being. But, it's that and that. Naruto said, as a hoodie appeared around him with a cloak that was completely covering his entire body, and a mask appeared in his face as well. What the hell? Mugetsu said. There was no poof of smoke where you could seal anything and get it out. It just popped up on him. How the hell did you do that? He asked. Naruto looked at him. None of your concern for right now, but get out, he said, as Mugetsu nodded as he started running away. Suigetsu found his master and left with him. Meanwhile, Shisui was, had a blade pointed right at Zabuza's throat, and Zabuza was not in a good condition. Same thing happened again. Shisui put him under a genjutsu that was so strong that he couldn't get free, and that was the end of that. Zabuza really needed to do something about this man. He was just too goddamn fast, and without looking into his eyes and fighting someone like him, it was not possible. Shisui applied fire chakra to his blade. Any last words? He said to Zabuza, who was sweating at this point. Where the hell is the brat? Don't tell me he tricked me. Zabuza was getting angry. Did the brat trick him? No, it couldn't be. But Shisui again felt something behind him as he saw a cloaked figure with a completely white mask, with just two holes in the mask, and one of the holes showed his yellow glowing eye, the Dharmaville eye. As Shisui narrowed his eyes, who are you? The figure said nothing as he pointed his hand towards Shisui. Several black rods appeared where Shisui was. Shisui had to jump away in time, but then again, he was impaled all over with black rods again as Shisui he got pinned down to the ground with the black rods. What the hell? Shisui thought as he tried to move, but he couldn't. The black figure looked at Zabuza. Get out of here, was all the black figure said in a rather low tone. Zabuza got the message. It was him. As he started leaping away, Haku said something. Her master was leaving, but meanwhile in that time, before all this shit happened, Haku was, not having a great time. Yoroichi was completely overwhelming her with his, kenjutsu style. The boy was so strong. Sayori, Menma, and Sasuke didn't have to interfere because Yoroichi was, handling her like butter. Her ice style didn't work against whatever this fire was. This was not normal fire. Yoroichi smirked. It's over for you, he said as he applied fire chakra to his blade. Let's see how you deal with this. Fire style, burning ash and bones, he said, and huge flames erupted right from his blade as he swung it towards Haku, who had no choice but to create an ice mirror and just teleport out of there as Haku appeared a distance away, panting. I have to end this. That boy is too dangerous, she thought, and she went through one-handed hand signs. Ice style, demonic ice mirror, she said as several ice mirrors appeared right all around them. As Haku went inside them, Sasuke, Menma, Sairi, and Yoriichi were all looking around. This is gonna be a drag, Yoriichi said as he sighed. Sairi glared at him. I don't want you to be lazy now, Yoriichi. I admit that you're stronger than me, but still, she said. Yoriichi smirked. Well, you never admitted that, but I'm glad to know. He again applied fire chakra to his blade as he swung his blade and deflected many senbons that were coming towards him. Well, sorry, you better activate that shotting gun of yours, otherwise you won't be able to track his movements. Stay on your guard, he's coming. They all did as told as several senbon came right towards them. They all tried to dodge, but Sasuke and Menma were too slow to dodge them. Menma got angry as red chakra started spilling from him as his eyes turned red. You bastard, you're gonna pay, he said. But right at that time, something happened. Haku deactivated her ice mirror jutsu and left. Why? They all thought. But then again, they saw something as the mist cleared. A figure wearing a hood and a completely black cloak that surrounded him. He had a completely blank white mask with only 2 visible eye holes in them. And the one eye showed the Dharmaville eye, the Dharmagan, as they all looked at him. Who are you? Sairi said. The figure said nothing as he looked at Shisui, who was, not in a good condition. Don't worry, I didn't hit any of your wild spots. You'll be fine. A few days of rest. And some medical ninjutsu that Kushi Uzumaki and Mikoto Uchiha both are quite proficient in. So you'll be fine, he said. Shisui glared at the man. Just who in the world are you? And how did he do this? I didn't even see the rods coming in the first place, even with my shotting gun activated. This figure smirked under his mask. Well, a ninja must keep all of his secrets a secret. Isn't that right? Well, see you later, Shisui, the teleporter. And with that, the figure disappeared like he was not there. Shisui just was brainstorming right now. Who the hell was that man? And whoever that was wasn't an ordinary man. Taking care of him just like he was nothing. He admitted that he didn't use a Susanoo or any of his more powerful techniques of the Mangekyo, but still, that man was not someone to be messed with. He needed to inform Minato about that. But it looked like it was all over. But before anything, the man appeared again as he looked all around. What the hell do you want? I thought you left, Shisui said. The figure looked back at him and had a little amused look in his eyes. Shisui could just tell by looking at that yellow glowing eye. Well, you'll see soon, he said, as an ominous voice was there. Well, would you look at that? Looks like Zabuza and Magetsu dipped on me, same of them, he said, has got to appear with all of his thugs. Naruto cracked his neck. Well, this is gonna be good. Then Naruto's Starmagan started glowing. Let's see how you deal with this. Naruto simply waved his hand, and what followed afterwards, was a massacre. Every single one of the bandits that were there were killed in an instant, with black rods piercing their body all over. What the hell? Gato thought. In a second, all of his men were dead. The man, the figure who did that, appeared right in front of him as he stomped on Gato's face and put him in the ground. As Gato started crying, Who are you? What the hell do you want from me? He said, as Norris, the figure, chuckle. You know what I want? Well, I want all of your property. If you want to live, give me the location of all of your hideouts and where you hide your treasure. He said as Gato nodded. Well, it's near the land of waves borders. In a hidden basement, right at the middle of the jungle. He said. Naruto nodded. Good boy, Gato. Then, a rod appeared in his hand, and also goodbye. He threw the rod at Gato's skull, and he pierced right through it. Gato was dead. The figure looked behind them. You should be thanking me, teleporter, that I took care of these thugs for you. Well, as the situation stands, I have no beef with you, he said, shrugging it off, and, well, I would like to get out of here. So, Tane, he said, as he gave them a little salute and disappeared. Isui closed his eyes as he looked around, trying to sense something. The man was truly gone. He couldn't sense anything. He sighed as he heard some grumbling right next to him as he saw Kushina and Mikoto wake up. Kushina opened her eyes to see her surroundings as she felt pain in her arms and, her stomach. She looked at the location that she was feeling the pain in and saw black rods right through the location. She, because she was an Uzumaki, shrugged it off and took out the rods right out of her body, and her Uzumaki genes kicked right in. It started healing her. She started healing herself as well, as she did the same with Mikoto, as the Uchiha mistress got up after the healing that Kushin had given her. They did the same with Shisui. Meanwhile, Naruto, who had found Gato's base, looked around and saw, a huge safe. No, I guess it makes sense that he would hide all of his treasure over here. Whatever. He pointed he stretched his hands out as a red beam started forming out of it. This should be easy. And he blasted the beam off, and the location, the safe was completely destroyed. Naruto stepped in and saw a lot of things: cash, gold, jewelries, and many other things. But he saw something else as well. He looked around to hear voices. He saw a cage, and inside the cage Naruto saw a woman and little lingerings, and also a few girls that were a little older or somewhere near his age. He was disgusted by that. He pointed his hand at the locker that was there. A black rod shot out of his hand and completely destroyed the lock that was there and freed all the girls. The girls looked at Naruto, who just was looking at all the money. Go to wherever you want. It's better than being sex slaves. Go, he said. All the girls nodded. The older ones took in charge and took care of the little girls that were there and took them to the land of waves. Naruto looked at all the girls go with a smile. At least he did something good in his life. But then he looked at the money and smirked. This was gonna be a lot. A portal opened as Naruto focused his right eye on all the money. As all the money shrunk down and Naruto stored it in his Daikokuzen dimension. This would come in, handy, he said. As he stepped in the portal and appeared in Tazuna's house, where he sensed that Shisui and others were rushing towards. Naruto kept on acting as he removed all of his clothing that he had and was in his normal clothing. Sisu and other arrived as they looked at Naruto. Naruto, what happened here? But as soon as Sisu said that, he saw two bodies on the ground with kunais through their skulls and chest, and he sighed. I guess there's an explanation. He said, as Naruto nodded. Very well then. We're going back to Konoha in maybe a few days, so let's get packing, boys. He said, as all of them nodded. 2 days later, the bridge was named the Konoha Bridge, since the Konoha people were the ones who protected the bridge. So that was that. And also, not to mention, Shisui was standing in front of Minato with a serious expression. What do you mean there was a masked man with a completely white mask and, well, a new eye that you have never seen? What the hell do you mean by that? Shisui shook his head. I have no idea, Lord Hokage. What he did was out of my mind. It's like he spawned black rods in my body. He said as Shisui gave Minato a black rod that Minato caught. This was the exact black rods that he used on me. I don't know where they came from, but as I said, it was just like he spawned them in my body out of nowhere. It's rather weird. He said, as Minato just looked at the black rod and sighed. I guess when he took care of you, Kushina and Mikoto, simply like that, he is someone not to be messed with. I'll mention him in a bigger book as an S-rank criminal. Or an S-rank ninja, wanted in Konoha, alive, not dead. We need to see who this man is, and if he's any threat to us, we'll make it dead. Minato said as Shisui nodded and left the room, but before Shisui could actually leave the room, Minato said something. So, how did Naruto do in this mission? Shisui smirked. He did very well, I would say myself. The boy is very smart. I can say that, Lord Hokage. He's strongest in my team, so you don't need to worry about that one. But I cannot guarantee that he will ever forgive you or this village for what they have done to him. That's something that I cannot control. I hope you understand, he said as Minato nodded as Shisui left the room. Minato sighed as he looked out of the window and looked at his village. He did what he did for the sake of the village, or did he? He was wondering himself. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he did it out of self-hatred. He would never know, he thought. Few weeks later, Sisui's team was standing in front of a bridge, waiting for their sensei as Sayori and Yoroichi were sparring with their swords that Sayori had recently taken a little acquaintance to, and Naruto was just watching the spar with a bored expression on his face. He really didn't think this was fun at all. But then Shisui appeared as he looked at all of them. Yo, he said, as all of them gathered up. So, why did you call us, Sir Sensei? Yoriichi asked. Shisui gave him a smile. Well, brats, I've decided to enroll you to the tuning exams. So, here are the slips. Fill it up and submit them to the exams that are gonna happen in a week. Okay? And it's your choice whether you want to take the exams or not. So, remember that. Johnny, he said as he disappeared again. All of their said drop. Did he really disappear and ditch them like that? In a week, the tuning exams, Naruto said with a smirk. Yoroichi and Sayori smirked as well. This is gonna be fun, they all thought. Naruto and Sayori and Yoroichi were going towards, a barbecue shop just to, eat. As soon as they were going there, they saw someone as Naruto and that other team passed each other. Naruto stopped, and so did the other team. Naruto looked back, and so did the blonde girl, who was glancing at Naruto. Two Tails, Naruto said. Yujito's eyes widen a little, and their sensei, his also eyes widen. How did you know? Yuzito said, as Naruto smirked. Well, I can sense it. I'm rather exceptional in sensing, you could say. He said. Yuzito smirked. Well, that's an interesting one. Yo, 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 what's your name, bro? Another voice said as Naruto looked at Killer Bee. Well, and Eight Tails. He said, Killer Bee smirked. Your sensory ability is one that has to be feared, bro. He said as Naruto's thread dropped. You know, you're really bad at rapping. Yoriichi said as Killer Bee got a cloud over his head. You mean, Konoha guys are mean, he said. Yeah, Kari and Amoy just sighed. Sensei, we don't have time for this. Let's go. They said as they started pulling on their sensei. Yugito stayed there before she winked at Naruto and went away. Sari looked at Yugito with a glare that could literally lit anyone on fire if it could, and Yugito would be dead, definitely. Why the hell did they wink at Naruto? Sari thought. As soon as they did that, they went to the barbecue shop and had their fillings. Meanwhile, in another location, Menma was face to face. Menma, Sasuke, Mito, Sakura, and Sai were face to face with Gaara and his team. Konohamaru had bumped into Kankuro, and Menma tried to be a hero and try to protect Kankuro, and Gaara had to step in so that any fight wouldn't happen. What's your name? Gaara asked, as he looked at Menma and Mito. Menma Uzumaki Namikaze and Mito Uzumaki Namikaze, they both said. Gaara nodded. Very well, it's good to meet you both. I hope you both are participating in the tuning exams. And I hope you meet there because Mother wants your blood. Because of what's inside of you, just like me. Gaara said as he started walking away. With that, Mita and Menma's eyes widened. Just like me, that means he's from the sand. The Jinchuriki of the One-Tails. Another voice came out as they all looked up to see Naruto was stuck to the tree. As Gaara stopped when he heard the Jinchuriki of the One-Tails word being called out. God of the Sand, am I correct as you introduce yourself right now? Naruto said as he jumped down, and Yoriichi and Sari jumped down beside of him. What's your name too? Gaara asked. None of your concern. You'll know in the Chunin exams. But I'm interested. How bad did the Tanuki mess with you so that you're calling him mother? My goodness, that's bad. Naruto said as all other doors red drop. Gaara sadistically smiled at Naruto. Mother also wants your blood, whoever you are. Remember, in the Chunin exams, I will kill you. With that, Gaara and his siblings disappeared. As Naruto smirked, well, this and things are about to get interesting. Meanwhile, Raikage was smirking. Well, I'm pretty sure Onoki would be happy to as well too, Laid a hand on this invasion. You're talking about Orochimaru. Raikage said, as Orochimaru smirked. I've already talked to him. You'll send one of his Jinchuriki to the leaf in the invasion. And both of your Jinchurikis are there in the Chunin exams. Both of the Kages going is gonna be bad, since there has to be someone handling the village, that's that. Orochimaru said. The Raikage nodded as he smirked. Konoha would go down, and that damn Minato would go down too. He would not forget the humiliating beating that the Yellow Flash gave him, and also the Stone Village. And they were thirsty for blood, and they wanted revenge. They would get it. Konoha would be destroyed.